All right, let's go summer streams. It has begun. I am going to be doing a lot of streaming. I usually do this during the summer, and I am excited to get into a lot of games that I've kind of put to the back burner that I like to replay on a regular basis. Cyberpunk 2077 has always been a game. It's my favorite game of all time. It's always being played. But some of these other games that I like returning to from time to time, I'm going to be getting back into during the summer stream. One of the things I really like to do that started my streaming when I was in Hawaii, that was 2020, so almost 7 years ago. I like to take requests from viewers, so if you drop into a future live stream or if you're active in this current stream, just drop a request into the chat, put it into the comments if you're watching this video on demand. I might try to do some more Twitch streaming because viewer interaction is a little bit more of the spending of the points to request to stream. It becomes a little bit easier to track, but I think I'm going to try my best to stick to YouTube because once I'm done with it, it's already there. So I hope you'll join me for future streams this summer. Again, once the summer's over, probably at the earliest, it'll be at the end of August. At the latest, it could be end of September. So get those requests in. I will see you and hope that you interact with me as well because I do really love talking about games. And if you see me playing Cyberpunk 2077, I'll talk the shit out of that game. Alright, but we're going to be into the Tomb Raider series, starting with the 2013. Something I also like to do, and you'll see that in a lot of the games that I play, is I will keep a kind of a running database. And let me get this camera down. I'm going to get out of studio mode on OBS. I am on OBS. I've had some previous issues with OBS, and that's primarily with audio and the camera. So if I switch between scenes, the camera might freeze. So what I'm going to try to do is get my Excel files up here. Let me run this up a little bit. Let me turn some brightness down on the lights around. I've got large amounts of data that I collect, mostly on Cyberpunk 2077, which I've done that quite extensively. I use that also when people ask questions. They're like, well, let's see where that character comes in, or let's see. And this is my gameplay and exposure to or introduction to characters, things, it's people, enemies, locations, and things that I keep track of, amongst a bunch of other things. But this database, which hopefully I can get popped up here. Alright, so this right here. I'm gonna try to keep this in a advantageous place. I think right about here might be good. And what I'll do is I'll just I'll try to minimize it like this. Click it to bring it up so that it comes up on screen like you see here, and then click out of it and then it should disappear. I think this is the easiest way to do it. It's not going to be the way I like to do it because I used to have multiple scenes on OBS that I would switch to, but when I do that, it freezes the camera. I'm not necessarily saying that you need to have my camera on the screen the entire time, but you might see that pop up. So forewarning, I'll probably do this kind of an introduction at the beginning of my videos every time, just so that people are aware. Alright, let's jump in. I'm pretty far into Tomb Raider 2013. I believe I'm around 64. Okay, I'm at 64%, as you can see just above me. We're going to be starting the climb up to the research base. So to kind of give you an idea of what I do, as you can see here with the database, I've got a bunch of tabs down at the bottom. Those tabs have things like my feedback for things that I experience in the game. Let me see if I can zoom in one more here. Things I experience in the game as I just interact with the world, the gameplay mechanics. I'm trying to get better, as you can see right here in this column. I'm trying to get better with describing sort of the primary topic and then a sub-topic and then my description and my remarks. So as you can see here at the very beginning, the intro, I'm going to be going through all the Tomb Raider games. So Tomb Raider 1 2013. I really like the opening. Great opening to an adventure game. So this way I keep a running log, diary, journal, an archive, if you will, of the things that I experienced with this game. And with this, where I'm at right now with the game, I am currently at Storm Chaser, and my overall topic, or my overall mission, is to discover the truth behind the island's unnatural weather. So I need to come over here, and I'm going to type in the name of it, Storm Chaser. I might do some speech to text from time to time. Just makes things a little bit easier. Alright, so I need to discover. Let's actually see if I can pick up the speech to text here. See if it wakes. The truth behind the island's unnatural weather. Alright, so it does work. Alright, then we'll come over here. Alright, and then one of the missions is start the climb up to the research base. Easy, simple. It won't try and waste too much of your guys' time, but it's kind of what I do. And I also might try, let me bring this back up. I also might try to change the overall size of this thing. Nah, we'll mess around with it. Alright, so a couple of things that I've noticed that are really good about this game. I've also made a comment on this, or a feedback in that database. So I'm on a bunch of maps, right? So if you ever want to explore around the island of Yamatai, all these different sections that you go to, which I really like how they kind of flesh you out over the entire map. It feels like you've been in all these different places. I would love to see an open world Tomb Raider. I know that would be a challenge. We'll see what happens with, I think is it codename Catalyst, or I forget the name of the, so they got Tomb Raider, is it Legend of Atlantis? The remake of Tomb Raider 1. What's that, 95? 90, ugh, okay. But they're remaking that one, and that's Legend of Atlantis, I think. And then I thought it was Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is going to be another game in the Tomb Raider line in 2027. Lots to look forward to. But one thing I do like is to immerse myself in games, and the best way to do that is to take all of the waypoints and the breadcrumbs, as I like to call them, off of the game to allow the player to explore and discover the game naturally. And they do that pretty darn good. So let me go back over here. Let's bring up the map so you can see over there the kind of the right side of the screen, the Shipwreck Beach, 43% complete. Camps, documents, relics, GPS caches, tombs raided, cairn raider, and then Minesweeper. You can filter those and then decide whether or not you see any of those on the map, which I think is great. That gives the player a little bit of control over what it is that they spoil for themselves, or how much hand-holding they want. I love when a game does this. I sometimes like to play my games without a HUD on. So playing Cyberpunk 2077, playing The Witcher 3, playing those games with zero HUD and really no breadcrumb to follow really makes for me a game very enjoyable, and it lets me discover at my pace versus, okay, let me go here, okay, let me go there. That's one way to play. I'm not saying this is the only way to play it. I'm not saying that you have to play your games that way all the time, and it does extend the life of your game, I think. It can cause frustrations, like, oh gosh, I don't know where to go, but playing the game will help you discover that. So it's one thing I like about this game, and those are some of the points that I like to capture as I'm playing my games. Long-winded introduction if you haven't watched my games, haven't watched my streams, but that's what I'll be doing this entire summer. Up we go. I don't think I'm going to be climbing the wires. But the game has, in I don't know, in retrospect, not retrospect, in looking at it from a different perspective, I like to be able to take all of the breadcrumbs out, but the game also offers nice breadcrumbs, very tasty breadcrumbs that you can use to, get yourself back on track. And one of those is the focus that you can get Lara to, like, okay, what do I need to be doing? And that's really good too. Okay, I think I need to climb this. Don't think I can climb these. Am I going to be moving this lever? Oh, okay. I'm sure you saw what I saw there. Like, there was so much mountain face that should have just kind of graded out or clipped on and then rolled towards me. I do think there might be a way to turn it off. I don't know. You can see these streaks right here. That's telling you that you can jump up. You can tell here that this is the only type of surface that you can do your climbing axe on. What's up, Eldon? Summer streams. Yeah, good friend Eldon is in the stream right now, and Eldon, we need to be playing fighting games. We need to schedule something regularly on one day of the week, if not more. I'm going to be playing with Shale later today in Diablo 2. I wish I could hit that. Don't know how I would hit that little care package down there. Oh, I should just drop down. Okay, we're going to drop down here. Alright, climb down, Lara. Climb down. Come on. There you go. I was like, how do I get that? I mean, there's a floor. Yeah, please, Eldon, suggest games you'd like to see streamed, played over the summer. I will get those into my queue. But I'll try to be streaming every morning at around this time, and I'm going to try to get into some late night streams as well. Saturdays and Sundays are going to be dedicated to board gaming with friends, but this is pretty much all I do. Sure, if I'm able to survive the current heat wave. Yeah, that's something I gotta prepare for. Like, I've set up fans in the room so it cycles air. Right around 3 p.m. it starts to cool down here in California. And I can open up opposing windows in the house. And I've got a whole house fan which will pull all the hot air, so I should be good, but it's still, yeah, that heat wave. Alright, I think I need to go up there. Let's make sure we're not missing any collectible stuff down here. Can I jump over to that thing? wonder if I can get over to that ship. This is an open world in the sense that you would think it portrays itself as, and it's got large areas and maps to explore, but it's not as if you can go anywhere. I got a question for you, Eldon. And again, I'll try not to bother you. I know you're late at night. You need to get to sleep, but I kind of feel like this game has a Metroidvania feel to it for me. And let me explain. My understanding of Metroidvania is its ability-locked exploration. So you move through Castlevania, you move through Metroid. There's always like a portion of the map you can't get to because you don't have the right gun, you don't have the right thing unlocked, the character's abilities in order to get there. This game has that as well, in a sense that I can't get to certain parts of the map and explore certain parts of the map or be effective in certain parts of the map until Lara's abilities open up. And it's a weird. I'm trying to get like my head wrapped around certain descriptions of games, like what makes an RPG, what makes a game Metroidvania. I'm sure every game in little pockets of it could fit into every category or genre. I've seen that Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor have been thrown into the category of Souls-like games. And I was watching, I forget what video I was watching last night that said he went through like, I think 24 different, he like ranked his top 24 Souls games. Obviously the Dark Souls series was in there, Sekiro was in there, the Surge, all these, maybe, is it Surge or Purge? Surge. And I saw Jedi Fallen Order. I never really thought of Jedi Fallen Order or Survivor as Souls-like. But through my history of playing games, I've always kind of wrestled with and jumbled around, like juggling different genres and where they fit and where should I place them, how should I organize them, and just kind of describing it. Now, I know this Tomb Raider fits within adventure, like exploration, and it doesn't really fit in Metroidvania, but it still has that ability-locked exploration that I've kind of been hanging on. But it's hell for me right now. Got workers here every day since they are building my new bathroom. Oh, sweet. So at the moment I don't have water in my apartment, but I do have access to the apartment below to take showers. Well, it's 6:20 p.m., so it's not too late. The thing that doesn't make it Metroidvania is that it is 3D. Metroidvania is also defined by what you mentioned, but all Metroidvania games are 2 or 2.5. Yeah, so I think instead of... because I was looking at it, and it's like, doesn't necessarily have to be called Metroidvania, so like how could I pull out an element that I like about the Metroid games? And I loved like exploring Metroid and Castlevania. It's like, oh, I can't go there, but I can see that I can get there. Because then if I said that, then Zelda would be in my Metroidvania. So I wanted to pull out what I love about those games, is seeing where I can go, but not quite getting there, knowing I have to upgrade, or like, what gadget do I need? What ability do I need to unlock to get there? And I like that about Metroid. I like that about Zelda. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull that out. So I think ability-locked exploration is what I like about this game. It's one of the things that I like about this game. It's what I like about the Metroidvania games. But just because like a game has a specific element in it, I can't just dump it into that category. And games have gotten so broad in what it is that they offer. They take little bits. They're inspired by so many different games. So ability-locked exploration is a nice, I think, way of looking at it. Alright, I digress. Alright, I don't think I can do anything that way. Doesn't look like I can. Little leap of faith. I forgot just how good this game is. I remember how good the game is, but I forgot some of the things that make the game good. Nope. Dang it. Oh, GPS cache. 4 of 15. Don't think there's anything cool on here. Yeah, I have quite a bit of exploration left to do down there. For example, if you do a 1 versus 1 race in Forza, that doesn't mean Forza is a fighting game. Correct, yes. It's like, I had a conversation with Shale about what makes an RPG an RPG. And CD Projekt Red used to call CD Projekt Red used to call Cyberpunk 2077 an RPG, but later in development, as they started getting close to release, they removed it from being an RPG and they call it an action adventure. But does it still have RPG elements in it? Yes. But is it an RPG? Obviously, Tomb Raider isn't a Metroidvania in the sense that everything is now looked at. You know, Souls-like is now a common thing to try to put a game into, and because it doesn't have a specific point that makes an RPG an RPG, does that mean it's not an RPG anymore? And I know I'm looking at it in a very broad and very naive sense of, it's like all the different variations on fantasy. Like, what makes fantasy fantasy? And then there's dark fantasy. And there's high fantasy. What really makes those things different? It's a silly thought process going in my head. I'm just having fun with it. I nuke things a lot. Like, I look at things a little closer than they really need to be. Ooh, nailed it. I don't know if that was going to fall or not. Dark Souls is an action RPG with some Metroidvania elements. Yeah, you know the thing that Dark Souls isn't? It's not a platformer. Now, Sekiro could be a platformer. But that doesn't make it a Mario game. I kind of wish this game, and I'm going to be looking at these kinds of things when I go into the next Tomb Raider games in this trilogy. Like, I would like to be able to jump over here and then have to push a button to grab on. Otherwise, she falls, and it would give the player a little bit more, like, control over the character. It doesn't make the game bad in any way. It just, it'd be cool if they did that. Right, let's climb all the way to the top, even though we didn't need to, because it pays to explore. Let's jump over here.
What the hell are we doing here? It's fucking Odie in that tomb.
Calm down. We got orders from the man. No one goes in or out.
They kill anything that sets foot in there.
You been listening to the OMS crew?
Yeah, they said some guy.
Shit! Help!
He got me too. Oh, hold on. Hold on. What are they gonna do? Oh, stay here. Let him come to me.
Oh, fuck! I'm not done.
No, you don't.
You're mine. Oh, going down.
Hey, he's taking some shots. See how many shotgun shots he took? Holy crap. Blasphemous is a Metroidvania. Let me go back out of here. Back into here. Sekiro falls into the genre of absolute madter. I get you, masterpiece. See here. Alright, enter the research base. Alright, I need to add this to my database. Enter the research base. Alright, added to the database. Ooh, let's see if we can push this guy over the edge. Without sending me over the edge. No. Maybe if I played with it a little bit more. Or wait. Hold on, buddy. Hold on, you got it. You got this. It's alright. Still falling. Holy crap. Was that evil? Probably gonna go that direction. Nothing to explore back there. Leap of faith. I thought that was gonna slide down. Worshipping the large weapon. I love this game's level design. In terms of games, I'd like to see you play Alan Wake, Ghostbusters, and this one is a special one, Broken Sword 5, which is a classical point-and-click adventure. Is Broken Sword... I have 2 of those. I haven't... I feel like I've heard of Broken Sword, though. Broken Sword does sound familiar. Broken Sword. Alright, let's see if OBS is kind. Let's see if we can look at Broken Sword. Let me... Got a little bit of audio stuttering there as I find the YouTube video. I'll try to get this up on stream. No guarantees. Broken Sword 5. I feel like I've seen these before. I thought they were shovelware. to be honest, I thought these were shovelware games. Aren't they just like Broken Sword? God, I feel like I own these actually. Now that I look at it. All right, let me see if I can get this up on stream. We'll go to video. All right, let's see here. I'm not going to watch all 6 hours of this. This is from point and click.
Out, Inspector. Who dares wins, Monsieur Stobart? He who laughs last laughs loudest, Inspector Nave. The guy was seriously nuts.
The guy was serious.
That a serious crime has been committed. I am going to have to ask you to return to the gallery. Of course, but I do need to ask you a few questions. D'accord. But remember, anything you say can be used.
Does the game itself like have voiceover, or is this streamer voicing it? Let's see what they do for female.
My poor Sauvage, he died in his prime.
Could I just ask you a few questions?
Why not? A little company might just pep me up, as you Americans might say.
Henri was very brave.
I'm not sure if there's one person voicing it all. I've seen a male voiceover actor do both male and female voices quite effectively. But I do like it when a cast is fully voiced. And I think maybe I'm leaning into the audiobook arena, but like most of the times when you hear an audiobook, it's voiced by one person. I'd say the vast majority of that is male doing all characters or female doing all characters. But when a male narrator narrates a female voice, it loses something in the character, but I've seen some very effective male voiceover actors do female voices, and you can't tell the difference. I feel like I've seen this game. I've definitely seen this game series before. I have not played it. I've probably collected it. I probably saw it on sale. It's like, ooh, a series of games. I can sink hours and hours into it. Yeah. All right. It is noted. Is this game on... I feel like I've seen this on console, though. So it sounds like something I could probably get into. Especially on streams. I've tried to do PC game streams, but it just doesn't work out very well. Alright, let's go back to the game. I need to work on getting my audio fixed, so that when I switch between these two scenes, the audio isn't abruptly ended. I can transition it a little more smoothly. But yes, I have heard of Broken Sword. It's like Monkey Island, right? I haven't played a lot of point-and-click games. I think Monkey Island was probably the last one I've ever played. And I have not played them since. I think I'm just supposed to fall right into the water. Yes, Monkey Island is a good comparison. Yeah, I feel like Siberia's not a point and click, is it? I feel like, and I know it's not, I felt like when Resident Evil was originally announced, I thought that was going to be a point and click game. Just because it was static images with a character moving around it, similar to, you know, up to that point what I had played for those types of games. Like Myst. Myst was a point-and-click game, but it has moved well into... They're about to make or release a Myst VR on PlayStation VR 2. Like, holy crap, Myst and Riven. I forget the name of the third one in the trilogy. This game uses planar reflections, which I like. Siberia, yeah, I've definitely messed around with Siberia. Sounds like my voice is really raspy right now. I need to get some honey. Try to stay hydrated. Try. Try. Alright, do we go right or do we go left? I always feel like the harder direction to go usually has some kind of reward. Well, we can squeeze back in here. If you want to play a truly disturbing one, you should go for I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Gosh, I love your suggestions. I think I've heard this. Let me jump over here to my Steam page. Let's go to my library. View my library. Alright, what do I have? I had some horror game that I recently picked up. I've really liked the Book of Hours and Cultist Simulator. I feel like I got this horror game that was... It almost felt like it was... You ever seen the artists that just do one dot at a time to create their art? I felt like that's the way this game presented its horror. I don't think I have it on PC. I might actually have it on Xbox. What am I thinking? I forget what it's called though. I'll figure it out later.
Keep it down. Only are here. Yeah. You want him to find us?
Just shut up. Keep your eyes open for the girl.
Can I? So I was gonna try to shoot him through that opening in the door. Sorry, I was gonna check this game you're talking about. I have no mouth and I must scream. I have no mouth and I must scream. There it is. Go over there and come out of mute. Cyber Dreams. The Dreamers Guild. I do have audio all the way up. I'm not quite sure if it's picking up, or if maybe this just opening area doesn't have any audio.
Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began. Some roadside honky tonk with my name on it. Is satisfied with the sacrifice. Shame shall vanquish all of its enemies. What do you want? Ellen has suffered much and has earned her place in paradise.
Help Am work out his anger. Take some on the chin, so to speak.
And I will be brother. Wait. Hate.
Okay. Like, these are games that I don't know, and I'd have to look at its history, and you could probably tell me off the top of your head. Some of these games are modern games made in like 2025, 2026, but made in the retro style. I love that style of and that visual of a game is held on to because it holds a place in history, if you will. I wouldn't call it, I guess you could in a way, the way clothing fashion shifts and changes based on what people like and like trends, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a trend for this like art form, but I love that this style is held onto, and I don't know whether or not this one is a modern game in a retro style, or it is a retro game that has just stood the test of time. Yeah, this definitely speaks to things that I've certainly grown up with. Yeah, right. All right. I think it very funny. Oh wait. Oh, okay. Well, that's a comment that I made. There's a couple of times in this game to where I've been fighting enemies, and I'd come up to a campsite, or I'd come up to, I think it might be collectibles, like right here. Like, let's do this here. I'm gonna try to demonstrate here. Let me shoot this guy in the leg. Oh, well, might as well get him. My finisher. Alright, so while he's shooting me, right, he'll come around that corner. Let's see if this actually happens. It happened last time. So he's shooting at me. So see how, like, I can pull myself out of combat and do this? I think it should be just like the campfires. Like, hey, you can't do this right now. You're in combat, or an enemy knows that you're here. So stop focusing on things you shouldn't. But what it also does is, if a player is in the heat of combat and pushes the wrong button and it pulls them out of combat like this does, I think it's something they could. And this is something that I take down in my feedback database. Like you might want to try to, cut off all the things that don't have to do with combat, so the player doesn't inadvertently get pulled out of it, just like they did for the camp base or the base camp. Again, doesn't necessarily make it bad, and I don't think there's a ton of stuff that the player needs to be pushing the square button during combat, so I don't think it's a huge issue, but things that go through my head as I'm playing all these games. Taste of your own medicine. Now she just killed somebody, and we know the transition that Lara has made when she first started this game, and I know this is an origin story for Lara. At the very beginning of the game, the first person she kills with a gun, she's like, "Oh God, I can't believe I did that, oh God." And the first time she kills a deer, she's like, "Oh God, thank you so much, I can't believe it." And literally the next thing that you can do is just start killing everything. And she's like, da 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 da, and she's just this pro killer hunter. Like she really gets through, but she's still somewhat depressed. Look at her. Look at her down here. Let me move my screen over. Look at her. She's having a hard time. She's still going through struggles, but she's a master. She's a master killer. I think she's gotten through her initial stage fright for being a cold, hard killer. All right, I don't think. Let's see if we have any gear upgrades we can do here. I'd say I use my bow the most, so we're gonna spend all of our points in bow if I can. I like headshots with an arrow. It is old, but it got released on consoles. If you haven't, you should read the same titled short story. I remember that I actually found the trailer for this Tomb Raider game very inspiring and motivating back when it was released. Yeah, I like what Crystal Dynamics has been able to do, and I feel I forget the company that originally was the publisher. But I remember getting the very first Tomb Raider, and I wish I still had that jewel case. And it was a big jewel case. It was like, I want to say like the size of your head, but it was this jewel case for Sega Saturn games. And that's the first console I played on for Tomb Raider, was the Sega Saturn. Or was it Dreamcast? Pretty sure it was Saturn. Because wasn't it Saturn and then Dreamcast? Because PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn, I think, were in the same. Yeah, it was definitely Sega Saturn because the jewel cases were huge. And I don't know if you still call those jewel cases. Man, I wish I still had that. Yeah, see this planar reflection that they're doing right here? And I know they're not doing ray tracing. I don't think that PlayStation 4 was doing ray tracing. I mean, maybe. No, this has got to be planar reflection, because Lara, no, she's reflected too. I still think this is planar reflection, but one way or the other, it's nicely done. I feel like that's about to burst. Get through there. I felt like that was going to smash me. IDOS. Yeah, I feel like. Why do I want to say that this is still an IDOS? It's Crystal Dynamics, but I feel like IDOS is still somewhere in there. It's kind of things I should know. No, it's not jammed. It's broken. There's a big missing section there, Laura. All right. Thinking I'm going to be doing some climbing here. Okay. Is this a jump down or jump up? Jump down or jump up? This was originally PlayStation 3 and 360 era. Oh no, not the. Oh, this game was. Yeah, this one was. Sorry, I thought we were talking about the first Tomb Raider. The very first Tomb Raider. I played it on Sega Saturn, which is still available, folks. I have all the Tomb Raider games like ready. I've got Tomb Raider Legend, Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness is number 6. I've got the first remake of Tomb Raider, which is Tomb Raider Anniversary. But yeah, these are the games I'm currently playing, y'all. I'm playing Tomb Raider, playing Wuthering Waves. Now, I escaped, and I shouldn't say escaped. They weren't bad games. I got away from Hoyoverse's 3 gacha games, which was Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero, and Honkai Star Rail. I was in those games. I was spending $300 a month to try to pull all the characters, and I just wasn't really playing. I was just collecting. I am a chronic collector. I've said that before, and I'll say it multiple times. I am a chronic collector. I'll collect things just to collect them. And I was doing that for all of the Hoyoverse games, but recently I was able to pull myself away. I don't want to say escape because I still enjoy those games. I just don't play them anymore. But I got into Wuthering Waves, and it is also a gacha game. It's a typical gacha game. But what got me into it is they recently released a Cyberpunk 2077 crossover, and this is Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners. So Lucy and Rebecca, and they've even got an entire section of Night City, I think, that you can play in, and it's actually a prequel to, and I haven't played everything. I have to get up to the point in Wuthering Waves. Is it Wuthering or Weathering? Wuthering Waves. I haven't got up to the section where I can unlock that, but I'm going to be working on to try to get there. It's like, it's Strive, Guilty Gear Strive. I love that game now because Lucy is a playable character. So I got pulled into another gacha game, so I'll probably be playing this one a lot more because you can play as Lucy and Rebecca. But yeah, I'm going to be playing God of War again. I do have Tekken 8 kind of standing by. I want to go back into Until Dawn. I'm back into the Mass Effect series. Again, all the Tomb Raider. And I am still playing Saros, which is the Housemarque. I love Housemarque's game. This is the Returnal guys. Dead Nation, I think, was the first Housemarque game I played. It was like a zombie, again, bullet hell games. But that's what I currently have going on my... and I really want to get that Batman. I really want to get that Batman game at some point. I think I'm going to wait for it to go on sale. I've got so many Lego games that I haven't played. Angel of Darkness, as much as I love Tomb Raider, but Angel of Darkness is unbelievable and bad for a Tomb Raider game. There were instances that I remember, but I'm going to go back and play them and see if I, do I remember these games as being as good as I remember? And there's obviously games that don't age well. But some games don't need to age well. They just weren't done well at the time they were made. And I like that studios are trying to reinvent a series and try to find what fits. But It's like Resident Evil. I love all the Resident Evil games. I don't dislike any one, but I'd say probably Resident Evil 6 is probably where Resident Evil was at the lowest point of where I think Resident Evil should be for me. It wasn't really a horror game, but I still liked it. But it was going in the direction of like the Call of Duty trend, and it was like action, bombastic explosions and crazy leaps for like on a helicopter, and it just felt Call of Evil to me. So I don't know if that's how Angel of Darkness felt to you, like it wasn't quite what Tomb Raider should be. But you can see like maybe they weren't going in the direction they wanted to go, so you can see where they remade the original, and they kind of went in different directions to kind of find that trend again. So I'm really excited. I recently got a Tomb Raider board game. I did an unboxing video that's over on YouTube. I did a reboxing video, and I think I'm going to try to do a gameplay video this summer of Tomb Raider, the board game. I just got to figure out how I get my downstairs filming set up. And I don't have I do everything by my phone right now. I don't have expensive cameras yet. I might do that, but yeah. But then they got the two Tomb Raider games planned to release in 2027. Tomb Raider Legend of Atlantis is February 12th, and I'm getting distracted about which direction I should be going. I think I'm supposed to be going this way. I think? Yeah. Maybe. I think I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do here. And then Tomb Raider, I think it's Catalyst. I'm going to have to look back at that at some point. I feel like I need to go up here. Do I need to shoot something? I could turn on my instincts and that would probably tell me exactly what I need to do, but it's gonna jump and make. Oh, wait. Is that actually something? Definitely not jumping down. All right, be right back. Going downstairs. Yeah, take your time, brother. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Where do I go? Do I push these things? Oh, wait. Ah. Aha. Probably pushing something down on it. Up we go. Now you see how I don't know if you're noticing, and again this is for viewers that might come by and there might be lurking, and I appreciate those that are lurking. There's a sense of the breadcrumbs that I'm talking about, that I talked about before, is if you're looking for things in a game and you have to physically or you have to actively look within the world to find those things, but within the game design there are systems to help you. Again, there's a focus to where you push a button and everything goes dark and it highlights in yellow what Lara should be focused on, what the player should be focused on. But you notice as I'm playing these couple of minutes here, like where do I need to go in here? I could have just pushed the focus button and then it probably would have highlighted what I needed to do. But I just found it naturally, and that is discovery and gameplay that I think has been lost over time, to where everybody needs, to get through games as fast as they can, because they know their time is limited. Their time is being pulled in multiple directions. Their attention is being pulled by multiple things. So gaming might not necessarily be what they have time to spend on. Like, obviously, I have a little bit more time to spend on it, but not everybody can do this. Not everybody can sit here and stream and play games all the time. So they want to get and play their games so they can get back to work, or get back to family, get back to friends, and all that other kind of stuff. And I get that. I need that sometimes too. But you notice I went and found that cog that I needed to break loose without any breadcrumbs. I was able to find this little book that I've been collecting throughout the game, just by noticing it and whipping my camera back over and then interacting with it that way. And that's something that I like doing in games. I have a little bit more time to play games, so I've been doing that more often. And I found myself noticing some beautiful things about what games are and can do, just by taking a little bit of the hand-holding back. But I appreciate and applaud game companies and developers that spend the time putting in these game assists and game aids and the breadcrumbs and the hand-holding for players that just want to get through their game quickly, so they can kind of move on. I'm not saying I'm going to not use breadcrumbs. I like breadcrumbs too. I don't think I want to drop down that far. Let's go back down this way. Let's not drop and kill Lara. Do I want to jump up there? Okay. Sometimes I'm not 100% sure whether or not Lara is going to grab onto a ledge. And some of those breadcrumbs that I'm talking about, I think has been throughout the Tomb Raider series, like whether or not there's a white, like painted highlight telling you where you need to climb. Games like Genshin Impact, games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you can pretty much climb anywhere. Assassin's Creed games, generally you can climb anywhere, so you don't see paint everywhere. It's just the character will find a way to climb it. But I think a hallmark of some game, not a hallmark, but a breadcrumb that game companies do and designers do to get players to go in the direction to progress the game. Painting the ledge is kind of one of those things. Don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get the ladder or this up here to the, oh wait, wait a second. Okay, so I'm sure I'm doing that for a reason.
Come on, come on. Got to tell you just right.
Time what just right? Time what just right? Do I not hit the button again? Let's see. Alright, let's go back down. So I thought I'd be able to climb through that or roll through it. Alright, can I go...
Just need to loosen 3 more and our elevator will fall.
loosen. Oh, okay. So it does stop. I thought it was going to go all the way up or all the way down. Alright, so I need to... what, raise it back up? And then... let's see here. How do I get down? Okay, so it stopped where I should have access to one of the cogs. If I can rotate back over this way. That one I don't have access to. Okay, see, this one I have access to, so I need to figure out how to get down into there. Oh, right here, okay.
Got to pry
There
those
we
other
are.
parts loose.
There we are. I think an elevator that is missing two cogs on the same side is a pretty amazing design, that it just doesn't fall out of there. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break here. We're about an hour in. I'll probably go for at least 2 hours today before we either move over to something else. We are going to be playing some games with Shale. We're going to play some Diablo 2 Resurrection. That'll be over here on with him. I don't know if he's going to be streaming it. But after we're done with Shale, we'll come back and do some more. Alright, I'm going to take a quick pause here. Actually, let me get a different pause screen. We're going to do this one. I will be right back.
Two down, two to go. Got to pry those other parts loose. Two down, two to go. Got to pry those other parts loose. Two down, two to go.
All right, we are back to game again, back to game. All right, audio good, seems good. All right, we got that cog, so I think we need to raise it up.
Got to pry those other parts loose.
Okay, this is where I'm going to jump up there for the other one, I think. Alright, let me get... Alright, I'm going to stretch real quick. This is a good way to stretch. Sit in a chair, hands behind your head, lean back. Help your posture. I've got all sorts of cushions here and foot pads that I can lift. I've got sort of an ottoman kind of a thing underneath here so I can prop my legs up if I want to. I feel like propping up your legs though, it just does some weird stuff with blood flow. It might just be me. Usually after every session of gaming, I go for a walk for about half an hour just to get blood flowing. Man, raspy voice. Hydrate, hydrate. Right, let's jump back up here. Now, there was an instance that I had to time it perfectly or something. Maybe I don't.
Okay, just one more to go.
Now I'm surprised I can't just shoot that one off, because it's already at the platform. Figure out how do I get over there. That be the question that needs answering. Alright, let's see if I can go up. Somehow, whoa. How do I get in there, folks? How do I get in there? I need to get this one? See, it's already at the opening. Get there, through there. Somehow. Don't fall down through here, do I know? Doesn't look right. how do I get... Oh, I see... Okay, I see it. Oh! Oh, darn it. Okay. What I need to do is run back up, get on the platform, jump out. Okay, so let's hit this. She doesn't really have a sprint, does she? Nope. Maybe I need to ride it as it's going up. I need to ride it as it's going up. Okay, let's do that. Or jump out as I'm riding it up. Do I need to drop down on it as it's moving? Alright, drop down on it is probably the way to go. I missed it. Gotta drop down on it sooner. Alright, we gotta send it back down. I wish you could send it back down from like a maintenance panel up at the top. Alright, let's send it back down. Bring it immediately back up. I gotta wait for it to go all the way back down. It's not like a garage door. Needs to be like a garage door. Alright, let's hit the button. Drop down sooner without hurting myself. That should be enough. Reward! Ooh, new shotgun. Alright, this just should make it fall.
I think that did the trick.
You think? Okay. Reward!
What was that? Hello? Hey, anyone there?
Man, fuck this place. What the hell am I even doing here?
I feel like there was a zoom button. Oh, there it is, right there. There is a zoom button. I was just pressing all the possible zoom buttons that you get from other games, and it worked. Yeah, see how Lara has zero care about slaughtering humans now? How much time do I have in this particular game? 54 hours. Now, that's in this version of the game, I'm sure. Not in the PlayStation 3 version of this Tomb Raider game. I feel like I can push that out. Research. Base complete map found. I'm also unsure whether or not this game has a end game or a new game plus. It would be nice to start with everything that I have. And I can feel the Cyberpunk 2077 community has been asking regularly, hey, CD Projekt Red, could you give us a new game plus? Just so that we can, you know, go in, experience the story, and just be this badass cyber psycho. But there is no new game plus. But I can feel the value of it, because let me take everything that I've earned, that I've worked so hard for, and then go and play your game again, but without having to do the grind. And I can see the value in it. For me, I enjoy replaying Cyberpunk 2077 multiple times, and starting from scratch. I really, really enjoy that game, to where that doesn't bother me as much, but I could see where they're coming from. And I know the fun in being like overpowered. What did we find?
Were these gifts for the ancient rulers of Yamatai? Or was there some kind of battle here?
I find it really hilarious. I don't know how many times it happens, but she will find something like this where it's supposed to be a relic or an artifact, and she'll be looking at it. And then you can rotate, not everything you're able to do this with, but you can rotate it and maybe find the name or an etching, an engraving, or a sticker that says made in China. She's like, oh wait, this one's fake. Alright, I don't think I need to go that way right now. Nope, okay, I came from here. You searched over here. Can I get this locker? Yeah. It pays to explore. Getting back into this trilogy again. I've been away from the series long enough to make it feel fresh. And now that I've been going through a lot of my favorite games and even new games and creating these databases that I was showing, and I'll kind of pop it up here again, this database, I find that it really helps me jump back into a game and really dive in deep. Again, making all these kind of feedback points, taking in, I've got, I don't have as many right now, but people, enemies, locations, and things I call pelts, sort of like if you hunted an animal and you took its pelt. But there's a lot of data that I've collected, so now when I go into the next game, I'm going to have all this feedback and these perspectives that will then make me look closer. And I think this probably happens just naturally for gamers that play a game again. They aren't as focused on what the story, because they know the story, they know the ending. So now they start focusing on other things. It's if you've ever been spoiled on a movie and someone's told you the ending, this thing died or this thing got destroyed, and you now know that, you will find yourself, well, I know what's going to happen, so I start to focus on everything that really leads up to that. And I've found myself doing that when I play through games, doing this. I start to just pay attention more. Try not to keep this up. I am notorious for leaving that screen up as I play the game.
All right, this is it.
This is it. Alright, we're probably going to go for about another 30 minutes. stalagmites, stalactites.
These figures. Warriors. They're in Himiko's tomb. They protected her. And is this you? Were you some kind of general? You committed seppuku. But why? It's beautiful. It's still sharp.
Great if I could play with a katana now.
I have failed, my queen. The ritual was corrupted. The priestess knew only death could save her and took her own life. Now the first and last queen lives a half-life, a soul in a decaying body. Her rage became the storms and will not stop while her soul is tied to this earth. My storm guard are sworn to protect her. They must continue, but I cannot.
The soul is trapped in a decaying body. That's what's causing the storms. To stop the storms, we need to destroy the body in the ritual chamber. How the hell am I going to convince the others?
She's in the old tomb.
Shit!
Music's picking up.
I've got to get out of here.
Do I need to get out of here, or can I just wait for them to come in here and I just... I have some cover. Looks like areas I can move around. It's probably just going to be a fight that will then probably unlock some way for me to get out of here. Yeah, taste your own medicine, huh? Sucks, don't it?
She's got a weapon!
Oh, come on, I dodged. Oh, I dodged, come on. Alright, fine. Should have just did the Indiana Jones method of fighting, guys. I wanted to practice my dodging. I could do better. Ouch! Yeah, I thought I had a dodge mechanic. Doesn't seem to be working. I do have the dodge and counter upgrade, but it does not seem to be triggering. Let's do some pistol action. I obviously suck at it. I think the game does a really good job with the enemies. They kind of do this like juke in the way that they move. They're not always just standing still. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but I'm not necessarily horrible all the time. I've definitely been horrible at it. But the game does a really good job with the enemy AI finding cover, flanking Lara. I thought both his legs were gone. Makes combat fun when you have to try. Alright, I think we've got all the enemies. There's some more up here. Again, we're trying to... Did I loot this guy? Yeah, okay. Just want to loot as much as we can. I like how she does this, like keep the heat away. Sometimes when she walks up close to an edge, she'll put her hand up, kind of just to push away that edge. It's like, don't want to run into that wall. Let's see if I can get her to do it. Not all the time, not everywhere. And I don't think I finished my thought about it's great to be playing this game and taking all the data that I do, because when I move over into the next game, then I'm going to use that as a, hey, I remember wanting this in the previous game, and look, they kind of did that in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and then, gotta forget the name of the other one. Let's bring up our database, because I think I already logged down. Let's go into Tombs. Did I know? Rise of the Tomb Raider. So, Tomb Raider, I wrote down that Camilla Luddington was the voice actress. Reyes, that character in this game, absolute beat. Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's what they are. I don't know. Figure it out, Reyes.
We're under attack. We need help. Damn it! No.
Oh, do you? I do. You need my help, huh, Reyes? Now, I just want to let you guys know, Reyes in this game is a bee. She only cares about herself. I know she's emotionally distraught because her boo, Roth, Conrad, got killed, saving Lara, and now Reyes is all about blaming Lara for everything that's happening. Yeah, I'm sure Lara decided to have these Solari sympathizers and Matthias doing the things that Matthias is doing on this island to kill all of her friends. And Reyes is all about blaming Lara for it. And Reyes even said, hey, we're going to get on a boat, we're going to leave this island. Reyes is really scared of the island. And I feel like all they've been doing is just camping. Now she's like, Lara, help me, Lara! Oh, now you need my help, huh? Now you need my help, Reyes. Now I'm important. Sorry, now Lara's important. before we zip down this line, let's make sure we didn't leave anything over here. There's a lot of things I still need to pick up, and I'll come back and explore off stream. Pick up the little bits and pieces.
Oh shit. Fucking choice that we have.
Take him out early, if you can.
On the pier! Oh, shit! Fire! Fire!
Just to come through here, maybe?
Jonah! Help! Where are you? Alright, fuck. That?
I don't know why they moved the camera over. It's locked. I can't move it. Maybe they're going to spawn in a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Reyes sucks, doesn't it?
Reyes, you're hurt. Here.
Reyes better say sorry.
Thanks. Seriously, I thought that was it for me.
There's no sign of them.
What happened?
During the attack, Whitman took Sam and they disappeared.
He's taken her back to Matthias.
We should have listened. I should have listened.
So what's the next move?
The boat's fixed now. We should
Gotta
get
make
help.
that.
I bet they thought that too.
You gotta make those arcs though, because that's good storytelling. You gotta have. No, you don't have to, but there's something about a character that just is purposefully hateful and easy to hate. And the Reyes has been that for me during this entire game. Like, so when Reyes finally comes around, you're like, ha! So forgiveness is, a blessing. Just, it's nice to just let people be who they are and know that they are that way, and that's okay. You can do one of two things, and that's probably narrowing it a little too far down, but you can either ignore and go about your life, your day, or you can just get past it and find what it is about that person that is likable and then continue with them. And if they come back with being, kind of like Reyes is being, you got to find the person's capacity to be kind. And once you see that, as long as the other side of them that is maybe a little bit darker isn't illegal or doing things that are harmful physically to you, like emotions are always going to be there. Heck, that could be everything from family members to best friends. I think Reyes, I felt like she was a friend of Lara's in this game at the very beginning, and then just sort of became distraught based on the things that have been going on. But it hasn't been Lara's fault. Lara didn't kill people, kidnap people. She's just been trying to figure it out. So it's a good origin story for her. But Reyes, man, I've been hating her the whole game. And even though she's apologetic now, I was like, well, if you would have been a little more helpful, maybe you wouldn't have been. I don't know. Both ways. Just depends what type of person Lara is and we are.
You were right about Whitman,
You've
but...
seen the storms. They target any craft that comes near. There were scientists here during World War II, and they believed the storms were controlled by something in a ritual chamber near the monastery. Look, I don't have all the answers, but Sam being taken, I know it's linked. And if we try to leave here without understanding why, then we'll all die. Just like the pilots. Just like Roth.
Look. Whatever's happening here, Lara deserves a shot.
We can't go back to their stronghold. It'd be suicide.
They won't take her there. They'll take her to the ritual chamber. We can use this inlet to get closer. Look, I know you want to get home to your daughter. Believe me, I do. But the fight's not over yet. I'm not asking you to believe, Reyes. I'm asking you.
I think, I don't know if I can get this on the screen.
Trust.
If I pause at the right time, and Lara's on the right side.
Let's get this thing in the water.
Right there. Okay, so you see this on her neck, this pendant. I think I still have the collector's edition. I bought 2 collector's editions of this game when it originally released. And within that game box, it was like a 10. Let me see if I can get my... I think I have it. Here, let me see if I can get my cord to stretch out over here. I think I have that one that came in the box. Yeah, I do. It's over here by this Lara statue. Let me see if I can not break the sword from the statue. Yep, I've got it right here. And somehow I've got it pinned in all the parts that move on this statue. All right, I've got that pendant she's wearing. And I don't know if it came in the box for this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. I think it even came with a little miniature, like an action figure with like 13 points of articulation. I'll try to zoom this camera in so the camera's a little bit bigger. All right, so this pendant that she's wearing is this right here. I don't know if I can get this close to the camera to where it's a good resolution, but that is what she's wearing. And if I turn it the other way, that might... So that is the pendant she's wearing. And this came in the collector's edition. Now, I'd love to put this on, but my neck is probably big. My neck is probably bigger than that. I can hang it over here, though. There we go. Yeah, it's cool, these little collectible stuff. I've collected a lot of Tomb Raider stuff. Like, I've got the Tomb Raider statue right here, Tomb Raider board games, card games. I've collected a ton of the comics from Top Cow. But it's nice to get little collectible stuff, and I don't think they do that a lot for games these days. I mean, they still do. They just used to do it a lot more. They don't. Welcome back. Sorry I missed you dropping in. Let's get this screen back down to there. I think that's a good size. I need to find a good number, like around 600 to 1300. Let's go 16. Let's go 14. So 1400. 1407 by 695 pixels. Hopefully that's a good size. It might be too tiny, but... oh, by the way, have you heard that Marathon will get a PvE mode? I have heard it, and I might return to it. Listen, I know what the Destiny community wants. They want a Destiny 3, and there's no saying that that's not going to happen. But people are they upset. I guess what has happened is Sony now owns Bungie, and Bungie is like 100%, I guess, now on Marathon. They want to focus on making Marathon what Marathon needs to be. Because there was a massive team, right? And if you got a massive team working on live service games, and that's what they are. They've got Destiny, and now they've got Marathon. These are live service games. And they've kind of taken all of Destiny 2 and like put it all into one package, and now you can go out and play everything. And it is a ton of game. But I know the people that have been with it from the very beginning want more. They just want more. That's what most consumers want. They want more. But sometimes, at some point, you just have to allow them to step back because it's not a money pump. There might be some microtransactions in it, but they may just need to move on to something else. Maybe they're making a Destiny 3. Maybe they need to focus on Marathon. Otherwise, the 1.2 billion, or was it $3 billion that Sony spent on Bungie, they need to either give up entirely, which I'm sure would piss people off. Like, people are angry about Marathon. Well, what do you want Sony and Bungie to do? Do you want them to? And I'm talking to the people that are making complaints about it. Like there's so many videos out there that I just try to ignore, but they're mostly negative. Calling Bungie quitters, calling the entire Sony and Bungie together like being a bad marriage. It's like, it's nice that they're going to try, and as long as they try, that's what they should do. They should focus on what they need to be doing, and that's making Marathon their newest IP that is either going to die out the gates or they can stick with it and make it better. So yeah, if they make a PvE, I'll probably jump back into it. Like, I just want PvE. I don't want to play against other players, really. It was making that game like really bad for me. That's what made Arc Raiders bad for me, because it was great for the PvE when it started, but man, it shifted. And that was a PvPvE, Arc Raiders. I think it still is, and it let the community decide how they wanted the game to be. And it started out like heavy PvE, and the players weren't about killing each other. They were about fighting the Arc and the enemies and just surviving. And that was the most important thing. But then it shifted. Like, it was a huge ramp up, and it's just a swarm of PvP focused players. And I was just getting killed left and right. And like, hey man, friendly, kill. Friendly, kill. Watching other people say, hey, I'm friendly, they get killed. I was like, man, this isn't the environment I want to play in. So if they do a PvP only mode, I might jump back into it. I mean, I always wanted a Marathon single player campaign with maybe some multiplayer tacked on there, but I think Bungie, Sony wanted to make a money pump. Money pump's the wrong way of saying it. It's like calling AI slop. And it's not. It's just AI created. It's AI created. And what Bungie is going to do is hopefully make Marathon better. It was a good game, and it is a good game. It's just, it wasn't for me because of the PvP focus. But if they do a PvE mode, I'll jump back into it. Sorry. Long-winded, I know. Okay, be right back. You did that. By the way, still, it is a fact that Sony and also Bungie made some really bad business decisions in the past, which lost them a lot of money. Yeah, and they learned from it. And the worst thing that they could do, and the only reason that they would shut down Bungie and cancel the rest of Marathon, is because they're just giving up. They've hemorrhaged money. Like, listen, let's say like this house I bought it in 2017, and different people invest in different things. Let's just put me at Bungie's, or put me at Sony's. Like, if I was Sony and I invested in Bungie being this house, and oh my gosh, I found termites in a small corner of my house. Do I burn the whole house down, or do I get an exterminator to come in and make sure that it's not completely spread throughout the house? And do I do some of the work myself to save myself money? And I do a lot of work and DIY on this house myself. So my Marathon is this house, and I'm going to stick through it even though it has some issues. I'm going to continue to work on it. I think Sony just needs to find out what needs to be fixed. And maybe one of the things they need to do was like, listen, Destiny is in a good place. They've got thousands of hours of gameplay over there. Let Destiny 2 be. Let it sit there and simmer. We don't need these 500 people that were working on Destiny anymore, because we're going to pause that. Let's save some of the negative momentum, and let's focus on the game to see if we can save Marathon. People love Destiny. I guarantee you, if Sony went out with Bungie right now and said, let's go make another Destiny. Let's make Destiny 3. I'm sure the community would be all over it. Now, obviously, can they make it good? That's another thing. But sorry, I'm rambling. But yes, bad decisions all around. Companies, I don't think, will ever make perfect decisions. It's what they do about the bad decisions, and can they make it better? I don't do very good with comparisons, do I, Eldon? Somehow I made my house about my house. I don't think this house, well, I kind of sometimes feel like this house is a bad decision, and I want to move out of California and get to Oklahoma where it's cheaper to live. I'm doing my own layoffs. No, I'm not. I have no idea where I'm going here. Yes. Like Hello Games made bad decisions with No Man's Sky, and they stuck it out. And that's what Sony needs to do. You made a bad decision. Bungie, you could have done better, but don't give up and do better. You have the capacity and the talent and the money, so do better. And people will realize and recognize.
Whenever you're ready to go, come aboard.
Oh, thanks, Reyes. What are you doing, Jonah?
We can cast off any time. Get on the boat when you're ready, and we'll head out.
Where's his arm inside the boat? Now, I know it's also probably a bad stance to take. I'm not taking a stance. It's a bad perspective to look at sometimes. I feel like consumers and gamers are a little bit too... This game isn't perfect, so I hate it. Like, Marathon is a good game. But I think the community just wants to... Like, the influencers... And I'd say paid influencers... Haters just want to dump on something that's good just because, like me, I mean, should I start making videos about how crappy Marathon is? Marathon's not crappy, it's just not necessarily for me. But I don't need to go jump online and talk about how bad Marathon is because it doesn't have my level of PvE. And I think that's
Lara,
there's
what do you
a
expect to
ton of
find in
that
there?
online.
Do you really want to know?
No.
A lot
but
of
you
it's
should
just
tell me
assumption
anyway.
and guessing. And
There's the soul of an ancient Sun Queen trapped in a dead body. Her rage
Creates
is
an
what's
odd
causing
narrative.
these storms. If we destroy the body, the storms will stop.
Right.
Sometimes you don't, because Destiny is actually in a bad state and loses a lot of players to Warframe. It was Bungie's golden goose and pulling workforce from it to save Marathon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Yes, was Destiny making money, at least from what I've heard and read? Yeah, I mean, why would you stop something that people love to go work on something that doesn't really have ground to stand on? But I could see from a perspective of a company is like, listen, there might need to be some changes. And like, look at Expedition 33. Like, that studio has proven you don't need 500 people to make a amazing game. Like, there were 30 I think there were 33 people working at that studio to make Expedition 33. And it's like, why? And they made an amazing game. And obviously that's a single player, it's not a multiplayer game, Expedition 33. But you don't really need to pump all this money. It's like buying a piece of art at an art studio and buying it for $1 million, and it's the valuation of things sometimes is way beyond what it should be charged or what it should be valued at. But I think Sony saw it as, well, maybe it's going to make us that much money, so we'll spend that much money on it. And I've seen the YouTube video thumbnails is like the $3.6 billion lie. It's like, is it though? Is it a bad game? I don't think it is. Do I think that Marathon is a $40 game? I think it's more maybe a $30 game. Do I like its microtransactions? No, it's got horrible microtransactions. Of course, I think every game has horrible pricing on microtransactions, especially when a color or a skin is $14, $15, and you bought the game for $30. You're telling me that one skin is worth half the price of your game? I've never thought monetization was ever properly priced. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. if Sony just cuts the plug on Marathon, decides to make a Destiny 3, then what are they doing? Like, yeah, bad decisions, and it'll be interesting to see what choices they make. But if they make a PvE mode, when they launch the PvE mode, or when I get time to get back into Marathon, I'll probably try it again. I love the Marathon IP and the story. I wish they would have made a single player game and then threw. That's just that's why I think that it's only worth $30, maybe $29.99, because it's just a multiplayer. We used to buy, a Halo game, and it was a full campaign with an amazing multiplayer on it. Now we're paying full price for just the multiplayer? Like, what? And your studios are twice the size, and the games still kind of look the same. I think it's a weird shift. Anyway, it's a good discussion with you, though, brother. I like the conversation. Hopefully it's not super boring. I know it's probably for people that come and try to watch a video to watch Tomb Raider, but I'm primarily here just to hang out. Was simply a bad call because Marathon failed financially. They just need to realize that not every game has to be a live service. People are tired of live service games, especially when it's another extraction shooter. Yeah, if they would have launched Marathon as a single player campaign with an extraction mode, like, holy crap, that probably would have done a heck of a lot better. And then you can see like where people are at. So they paid full price for a fully made game with a mode in it, and plus you maybe make Marathon single player. You spend maybe 100 to 200 million making it, and then you see how much people love it, and then you decide whether or not you want to spend another $200 million to make a multiplayer mode, or maybe you already start. There's got to be better ways of approaching it. And even like early access, like they should have. Baldur's Gate 3, perfect example here. They did a beta for years and let the community play it for free information. Like they literally had hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of players giving free feedback, and they didn't have to pay anything for that. They just listened, and they got to do that for years to make it better. And funny thing is Baldur's Gate 3, when it was in beta, was still like, I think, a $30, $39.99 game. We'll say $30. And that was only for chapter 1. And people were willing to pay for an unfinished game so they could try out the game. Why is that okay to do? And people are like, this is an amazing game of the year, we love it so much. But they charged you for an unfinished game, and then you all played it for years unfinished until it finally got finished, and you're essentially an unpaid tester. But that formula, I guess, is okay in the community. But I think the industry in itself, like free-to-play game, consumers want things for free. I mean, right? Consumers want things for free. Maybe I should zoom in my screen here if I'm going to just sit here and ramble. Consumers want things for free. They want it for cheaper. They want it for less, and they want more for less. And I understand that because I'm a consumer. I like to find deals. I think that maybe they needed to have Marathon be a free-to-play game. You get a higher proliferation. You get a higher player count. You notice they had their free play weekend or something like that, or free play week, and their numbers spiked. So I think they just need to come at it, especially for live service games. For live service games, you need to make it free. I mean, and if your game is good, and it's really, really good, people aren't upset because it was free. And if they want to buy into it, they can do their microtransactions as much as they want to. and then you get to I think maybe that's the way live service games should be. Every live service game that's just a constant, and then maybe do expansion packs, like those would be paid for, free DLC. Consumers want things for free. No, we'll see. They just need to realize that not every game. Yes, I agree. I'm kind of tired of them. I like them though, and I got an expendable time and income. So, well, but isn't it kind of the same like backing up a board game with your money? Just a thought. Yes. So, backing a board game for me, like I enjoy doing that. But then if I go online and then suddenly hate the company, knowing I know what I'm getting into and I take that risk, I just think that the industry needs to come at it from a different perspective and try, hey, maybe you should listen to the gamers and just give them your product and let them make your game better, because that seemed to work for Baldur's Gate. But I've listened to influencers that praise the system that you think a consumer wouldn't like but love it, so maybe that's what they should do with Marathon, is just have made it free to play. You get a bunch of input for free, and then when it's complete, then you can charge it for full price. I'm trying to like think of the best way that Sony could probably try. I mean, they've already spent all this money on it, so they probably can't do that. But it seems to work. Give it to them for it's a weird approval on one side for doing things, charging people for things that are incomplete, and then making it better. Seemed to work for Baldur's Gate. Why couldn't it work for Marathon? Give it to them for free and then just microtransaction the crap out of it. It works for every gacha game. I mean, Genshin by itself, I think, makes $1 billion every 3 months. It's strange the way that gamers, consumers, the industry spends its money on things, taking risks. Yeah, the board game backing stuff that I do, you know what you're getting into, and you invest in something, and hopefully that company follows through. And the majority of the time, I'll pick a company that has a proven track record, which makes taking that risk a little bit easier. But yeah, it's no different. I think that if you take the risk and you understand what you're getting into, then that's the way to go. The best example for live service done right is still Warframe. You know, I haven't played a lot of Warframe. I've played a little bit of it, but nowhere near. And I know like the studio heads at the studio that does Warframe had made a comment like, why did they stop doing Destiny?
Why does Matthias want Sam?
I don't know. And that's what's scaring me the most. Look, I know this is a crazy plan.
Yeah, it is. But right now,
I think to put a capstone on it is like, if you make your game for your games and you're not making your games to make money, and because you've made your games for gamers, the money will come. Like, if you build it right, they will come. But if you're building it just to make money, and I think that's what Sony went into Bungie, like, I'm going to buy Bungie because Bungie's going to make us billions of dollars. You went in it for the wrong reason. Yes, I know you're a company and you need to make a profit to survive, but you need to go into it to make games for gamers, because if you're making the games for the gamers and not just to make money, the gamers will want your game and you'll make money. Sounds right.
Is all we got. So let's do this.
But I wouldn't mind getting back into Marathon. I like its aesthetic. I like the IP. I like the whole design style. It's unfortunately they didn't make a single player and they made it a PvP focused game.
All right, let's go.
No. I'll need you and Reyes
like
to
every
guard
game
the
that does
main entrance while I go in
microtransactions, it's
after
way
Sam.
overpriced.
You're going in there alone?
More people means more danger of being spotted. I need you here taking...
And I know I'm just continuously making small little side discussions here, so I apologize to anybody watching that wants to watch, but because Eldon is here and I'm chatting with him, then he gets priority. I kind of feel like the price of something generally with a product is higher at the beginning and then it gets lower later. So early buy-in is high and then later it's low. Like every video game, right? You buy it this month, it's going to be $69.99. You wait for a couple months, it starts to go to half price, and then you wait for a year. I guarantee you could probably get it for $10 or even cheaper. Especially if you buy it digital, because honestly, we all know that you don't necessarily own your digital games, because once they don't work anymore, they don't work anymore. But a physical game, I've even keep telling myself, you know what, I need to switch back to buying physical games, because I buy most of my games digital now. And I don't really own those, because once they turn their service off, they probably don't have the license to play them anymore, do I? But I have the physical game. But even then, you have the physical game, but it might just be the key that accesses the game. It's not actually data on the disc anymore. Like it's weird. as long as I'm able to play the game, I guess.
As many of those bastards as you can.
But I can understand the pain.
Either. There'll be others. Samurai, the Queen's Storm Guard. Look, anything that's not me or Sam, shoot it.
My little bird. This isn't goodbye. I'm not going to say goodbye.
Yeah, at 12 o'clock an hour
back.
from now. That was the original schedule. Welcome in, Shale. Oh, we're up at the Windy City now. Okay, I thought we moved it up an hour to get 3 hours. I mean, I'm at my 2-hour mark for this game anyway, so if you want to start, we can start. No, I was gonna do 2 hours a day with you each day, so we get 14 hours per week. If you want to start, I could end the stream here. We reached a decent spot, but it's up to you. It's up to you, Shale. I don't have to go to work. You do. But if you'd like to start now, I will start now. Just let me know. I guess I gotta go up. I feel like that's gonna push me to the side. I feel like it's gonna break. Oh, okay, no. Good. It doesn't. My mistake. I thought we talked about doing 3 hours. I'll just go back to bed for an hour. I guess I misunderstood. Well, I mean, if you're already up, I don't mind stopping and playing. Yeah, I was just going to give you your full 10 hours each day, and then we'd play for 2 hours, and then do that during the weekday. So we'd get around 10 to 14 hours each week, depending on if we play on a Saturday, Sunday.
Who are these?
The Storm God.
People.
They guard the monastery.
And again, we might be able to do like a Saturday, Sunday, and I could just throw it early in the morning, because I don't think you said you didn't work on Saturdays or Sundays, and then we could do 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. Up to you. I was just checking on what was going on. No, I was going to do 2 hours of streaming anyway, and I just happened to reach a spot in the game, which is probably a good stopping spot. So thank you everybody for being here. Eldon, thank you so much for hanging out with me, my friend. Always good discussions. I appreciate the suggestions on games too, so please drop those. I've already got Alan Wake Alan Wake New Nightmare and Alan Wake 2 like ready to go. So again, you don't have to make a decision anytime soon. I've got about 8 weeks. So just drop them in anytime and I'll jump back in there. For anybody else that is watching on demand, thank you so much for sitting here and listening to my rambling about the games industry, this game, other games, marathon, RPGs versus, yeah. Thanks so much. I'll be here pretty much every day, same time. Saturdays, Sundays, I probably won't stream as long because I'm be doing board game stuff. So this is my summer stream. This is what I'll be doing pretty much every day. This is pretty much all I do anyways. Game. So yeah, drop your suggestions in the comments if you are watching this, and then I'll throw those into my queue to get those into rotation. It'll help me try some new games as well, because that's what I did when I started streaming, and that's what I enjoy. So interacting with the community is always awesome. So all right, we'll end it there, and then go play some Diablo 2 Resurrected with Shale. I don't know if Shale's going to be streaming it, but if he does, then it'll be there for on-demand viewing as well. So, all right, guys. See you soon.